What's up, everybody? I am back with some reaction videos that I'm going to be doing today. The first video I want to talk about is one of the few therapists I actually think is very level headed and even keeled and not one of those people that's like cater to like whomever's whims, like, like, oh, women are always right kind of mentality. No, it's even keeled, fair, and holds people's feet to the fire, even women. And one of the things that I wanted to of his videos I wanted to react to more recently, he just posted up about uh, uh, his money is my money, and I could not help but think about the comedian Akash Singh's wife when she went on that whole diatribe, like practically screeching to her friend's podcast, like, "His money is my money." Well, lovely girl. Parents must be so proud. Uh, so I wanted to react to his video, but before I do, please check out his channel because he does an amazing work. If you believe in therapy as much as you say, he should be the one you probably, or at least he's the kind of therapist you probably should be looking out for, because from his mouth, he's mentions how, like, when people come to him, I do what I need to do. I make sure they got the tools that they need to operate out in the real world, and he wants to make sure they don't have to come back. A lot of therapists nowadays just want to kind of get you recycling back and just be, so the occupation becomes so therapized, and it's kind of like just big, talk sessions, venting, which is typically something that females like to partake in because that's how they feel better, and they use that across the board. And that's not how guys try to feel better. We feel better by fixing things, working with our hands, being active. That's what we do to tend to get better. And he made that point multiple times. So follow me on the links in the description below. Check out my YouTube channel and my Twitch as I react to videos, review comics, movies, and TV shows, and stream video games. So let's check out Orion Taraban and Psychax.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psychax, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic for today's short talk is his money is my money. This is a not uncommon phrase that you will occasionally hear in the mouths of women, namely, my money is my money, and his money is my money.
And by the way, like, back, in like high school and college, I bought into a lot of that crap. Full disclosure. I was one of those like young naive guys, and like my first girlfriend, I touted that thing like, oh, like, my money's your money, because young guys, they don't start off being like dogs or a-holes or nonchalant or indifferent towards women. We more often than not has start off with that Disney fairy tale, thinking like ladies are all pieces and cream with no negative dark side to femininity. And that bites us in the butt so often, but sometimes it's needed so that way we'll know better and move accordingly. And like, we need that lesson to know that, yeah, most women, no matter how like decent they are as human beings, they have that negative side that we have to be weary about and check every now and again so we don't get finessed as men. I bought into that same crap, bit me in the ass. So there's things like that that a lot of young guys out there need to be weary about. Hopefully, he has wise male, counsel amongst his peer group, like family and close friends to help guys steer clear from women who might pull stunts like that. Doesn't matter if they're evil women or decent women. They have certain qualities that they share that they tend to do, whether they realize it or not. We gotta, watch out for. Like, don't just give women whatever just because they're nice and pretty or tell sweet nothings to you. Sometimes they need to hear the word no. Doesn't matter if they're good girls or not.
That is, the money that I, the woman, earn through my own effort and labor is my own, and no man has a right to determine to what uses it is spent. But because I'm in a relationship with a given man, I am justified in assuming that at least part of the money that he earns ought to be deployed in the service of my own care, comfort, and well-being. This is a proper and expected use of his resources. Now, this is entitlement in the most literal sense, in that such women believe they are enacting a natural right and that nothing could be more reasonable and just. And I'm here to argue that this is not, in fact, a fair or reasonable expectation at all. And today, I'm going to help people, men and women, understand why this is the case. I don't think you've heard this argument before. It goes well beyond a simple question of female delusion. To begin with, let me ask women a complimentary question. Do you believe that your body belongs to your man? Like, do you believe that your man is entitled to your body to use it whenever he wants, wherever he wants, however he wants? This is, after all, a portion of the traditional marriage vow, the flesh of my flesh part, and was long used as an argument for why marital rape literally wasn't possible, as you couldn't rape yourself. I'm willing to bet that most women today would find such an attitude horrific.
Yeah, I mean, not that I advocate for that. Like, married or not, in a serious relationship or not, you can't just do whatever with your girl, especially if she, is not feeling it. Yeah, ease up. That's obviously that's wrong. However, I think the flip side of that, it tends to let girls off the, I won't say off the hook, but it's just not understanding the duties of let's just go with wife. Girlfriends is whatever. But wife has an air of, okay, this is your responsibility. And part of that responsibility as a wife is as a trade-off for the guy not going out and doing whatever, and make sure he offers all his resources to you as a reciprocity and duty. You make sure that in turn for that trade is to make sure he is sexually satisfied. That's one, at least one out, aside from finances, not providing sexual access to your man, your husband, will lead him to go astray. And then you dare make him the bad guy because you leave that kind of part out when you tell this kind of stories to you. Like, why'd you divorce your man? Oh, he just was ignoring me. He cheated on me. Oh, but you left out the fact that you've been denying him, sex whenever he, feeling frisky with you. But you deny all that stuff because that will make you look bad. And the last thing most women want to do is look bad publicly. Your duty is to make sure that he is sexually satisfied. That is the trade-off for him to be monogamous towards you. Unless you have some other, polyamorous or you got an open relationship. Aside from that, the deal is, he won't be stepping out. So you got to make sure he's, like, if he's feeling frisky, like, outside of maybe you're sick or like a headache or your period, those those circumstances, if you got a reasonable guy, he's like, okay, cool, no problem. Like, it's like, okay, you obviously got the flu. I'm not going to mess with you at that time. I'll just rub one out or whatever. Uh, but you're only sick so many times out of the year. You only get like a certain amount of periods out of the time out of the year. The bulk of the time out of the year, yeah. So like, if he's feeling a little frisky, make sure you service your guy. That's your duty as a woman. And of course, I know it kind of takes the kind of love and romance out of it, but that is the agreement. And a lot of girls out there want to skirt that part of the agreement because it makes them feel like, oh, I'm just like like a, a sexual object. In a way, you kind of are. In a way, like you're a hot, good looking woman that is the main reason why he was attracted to you. Is the main reason why he get involved with you, because not the only reason, but it's the main reason. Because yeah, you're a decent woman on top of being hot. That that goes hand in hand and makes things ideal for most guys. So he wants to be able to have like sex at the ready. So he doesn't have to go out and try to talk up girls, 50 girls at a bar or a lounge, and hoping he gets lucky. Where he has like a good access, like, hey, I'm feeling frisk. I'm your guy. You shouldn't be inclined to make sure that I'm sexually satisfied. Like, you already know, like, I'm a decent dude. We like blah blah blah. We did all that song and dance number. We're in a serious relationship. You should be like more than happy to make sure, like, the guy is sexually satisfied. But,
Course, my body doesn't belong to a man. It's my body. I have a right to my body. It belongs to me. So I give it if and when and how and to whom I choose. And any man who thinks differently is a toxic sociopath, etc., etc., etc. In any case, we're not talking about a man's body, Orion. We're talking about his money. A body is far more precious, far more valuable than money. Money is just money. All right, well, let's talk about money, shall we? People often say that time is money, but that isn't really true. It's much truer to say that money is time. Though all the money in the world can't buy another minute of life, it's also true that money can and does buy access to better health care, which is a form of buying time, and that money can and does expedite things, which is another form of buying time, etc., etc. However, money is time in an even more fundamental way. It is the transfiguration of time spent in labor. That is the meaning of money for the majority of people. It is disembodied labor. And labor is always spent in the application of the body. This is true whether you are a bricklayer or a brain surgeon or a graphic designer. Your labor requires that your body perform certain tasks over a duration of time. So I want you to understand that money is the abstraction of a particular form of physicality, namely the physicality of the laboring body. So what does that mean? It means that believing you are entitled to another person's money is essentially believing that you are entitled to the labor that earned that money. And since labor always involves the application of the body, this is tantamount to believing that you are entitled to use that body according to your desires.
yeah, I don't know how many ladies out there. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some, but I'm not sure how many ladies out there will understand this level of logic. There's probably gonna be some, and those are the reasonable women out there in the world. But there's gonna be others who just cannot compute this because these are the entitled women that most guys speak about, where they want to utilize that excuse like, oh, I have to spend time doing my makeup. Don't you know how long that takes? And just like, oh, I'm giving you my presence, young man, so that doesn't like that should be enough. It's like, well, you're gonna do that anyway, and the fact that uh, you feel entitled to whatever resources which my body had to pour X amount of hours into to earn said money. So you don't just rightfully own that just by way of you being the female in the equation. And it's just like your body, your choice. It's my wallet, my choice. You know. Now, if we were to commit a relationship or a marriage, that's entirely different. Then it's just, well, sort of different, because I'll be more inclined to make sure you're taken care of with said money. Doesn't mean you just like in a marriage. Doesn't mean like you get to give up your body just whenever the guy asks for it, even when you don't feel like it. Doesn't mean like I give up whatever money I earn whenever you ask for it, if even if I don't feel like it. So it's like, yeah, there's gotta be some level of boundaries on the guys and the things that you have to respect without catching an attitude about it or getting passive aggressive about it, which most women tend to do when they don't get their funky little way.
Oh, shit. Now, if your right means and requires the labor of another person to realize, then guess what? It's not a fucking right. It is not, and it cannot be, a just and reasonable entitlement. Stay with me now. I'm not sure how you define things, but there is an institution on this planet that is founded on the belief that one person is entitled to another person's labor. And it begins with S and rhymes with blavery. I'll say this as plainly as I can. Anyone who feels entitled to another person's money is a slaver with a couple extra steps. And this is because, as previously discussed, money ties back to the body just as surely and inevitably as sexuality does. Introducing my innovative first novel, Starry Night. Step into the world of painter Vincent van Gogh. Now, this isn't one of your average double standards. This is a big and scary one. Just as we collectively believe, correctly, in my opinion, that men are not entitled to use the bodies of women without their consent, even if the bodies in question belong to their wives, we must collectively stamp out the belief that women are entitled to the resources of men, even if they are their husbands, simply because they are in a sexual relationship with them. Both ideas presume ownership over another person's body for a specific purpose. This is dangerous because the desire to control another person's resources always, 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 always masks a desire to strip them of their freedom. Money and freedom are very closely related to each other in more ways than one. Most of the rights and civil liberties that people enjoy today really came into being during the Enlightenment in the 18th century, which, whoa, wow, what a strange coincidence, just happened to coincide with the Industrial Revolution and the global birth of capitalism. Capitalism and liberal democracy are really two sides of the same coin. The one preserves the other, and it's actually pretty easy to demonstrate why this is the case. You've heard of fuck you money, right? Fuck you money is possessing enough money that you feel free to walk away from any situation or relationship that doesn't serve you anymore.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of people in the world that has the FU money. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Oprah, Denzel Washington, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Just to name a handful right there. They definitely have the FU money for days. Jeff Bezos, definitely got FU money. Just, make whatever problems go away. They never have to worry about anything in a day in their lives. Just like, if they want to go to Bali for a weekend just on a whim. Hey, let's do it. You know, there's a guy like that. They've earned it, definitely, which most people wish they had that kind of like FU money, or at least close to, where they don't have to worry about like certain woes of life, like, you know, like bills, or some of the groceries, and things of that nature.
Or you don't need any given job or relationship. So if they piss you off or do you dirty, you can tell them to just fuck the right off. Now, what happens if I take away some of that money? Now, you're still free, like in an existential sense, to walk away, but your freedom, like in a real practical sense, has been compromised. You can still walk away from a bad situation, but you might not be able to pay your bills or put food on the table. So you will likely put up with worse treatment in poorer conditions than someone with greater financial means. You are much easier to control and much less likely to fight back. Now, imagine what would happen if we take away your money entirely. Like, unpopular opinion, but individual freedom is actually predicated on the existence of private property. Any person's practical freedom depends directly on his capacity to enact that freedom in a meaningful way. Remove the means to enact that freedom, and you can control the person as effectively as if he were in chains. This is what I want you to understand. When a woman feels entitled to a man's money, she's laying claim to a lot more than just his money. She's laying claim to his time, to his labor, to his physicality for a specific purpose, and in a real practical sense, to his freedom. This is no small thing. A woman who talks like this, and who talks like this with impunity, is like a modern day Marie Antoinette. She's so out of touch with reality, and she feels so removed from the consequences that her beliefs
I'm pretty sure that's the same woman. Well, she technically didn't say this according to historical records, but it's just like a famous not so quote of hers, "Let them eat cake." Uh, from memories, if memory serves right, she didn't really say that. That's something that's got cooked up for some reason. That line's got attached to her. She didn't really say that, but it just goes in intertwined with that nonchalant, not giving a f about the lower class people of her time when they were suffering, kind of thing. Like, they don't got no food. It's like, oh, let them eat cake. That very blasé, hand wavy attitude she had. But I don't think she actually really said that line. And I think that was um, somebody kind of put that on the historical figure. Not sure where that came from, honestly.
actually produce that she is functionally from another fucking planet. This is a dangerous, dangerous belief, and it's one that should be resisted whenever and wherever it emerges. What do you think about this argument? Let me know in the comments below. And please send this episode to someone who you think might benefit from its message. I know you know someone who needs to hear this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's just hopefully you people who are watching this agree, because this is like if guys, rightly so, should respect a woman's body, irregardless if you're in a relationship with her, she in turn has to respect your money and resources as a guy. She should not have to lay claim to it just because. Just like he can't lay claim to the body just because. If you want to be equal, ladies, as you so claim, then you have to respect that. It's like most guys will have no problem doing certain things for their girl. More often than not, that is the case. It's like, oh, I want these new shower curtains, kind of thing. And if it was in the budget, guy probably won't, have no problem, putting up the money for the new shower curtains. But if she wants like some new purse or something, and he tells her, nah, I'm not buying no ridiculous new purse just because you saw it in the window uh, one day walking by. No, maybe for your birthday, but I ain't just gonna sit there and walk in and buy it. And she will have to just take that L and eat it. But most girls don't do that. They feel like they throw out things like financial abuse because like, oh, he's not doing for me. I'm gonna make him pay for that one way or the other, and that is a serious problem. Because that's why I hate like the term financial abuse or emotional abuse. It's such a blanket statement just to give like the go ahead for the woman to just do whatever she wants without understanding. No, he doesn't have to buy you this new purse, and you just got to like, deal with it, and that goes into the whole. A woman needs to be able to regulate her own freaking emotions. It's not up to anybody else but her. It's like he told me no. Okay, I gotta live with that. Doesn't mean it's probably no forever, but it's no for now. And the guy will probably respect you a whole lot more and be more at least make sure he puts in consideration. Oh wow, she didn't give me no lip when I told her no, she's not getting a new purse. Oh, that at least put it in the back of his mind. It's like, okay, maybe Christmas I'll surprise her with this purse, but I just can't do it right now because I got other obligations to deal with. But you ladies gotta like respect the fact that you're just not entitled to whatever to the guy's money and resources. Doesn't matter if you're in a serious relationship. Anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys later.